Well, here we are. Here we are for the second 4 o'clock shadow. Put my earbuds in so I can hear my melodious voice. Hey, we had a winner trusty sidekick yesterday. Won one of these. Would you like to win one of those? Be the first in the chat on the 4 o'clock shadow, and I will send you one of these right to wherever you tell me to send it. Toot sweet. So I've got just a plethora of things here to talk about. I did say, we would talk about this, so we'll talk about that. I do, when you get something in the mail, and I don't know that this is, but, you know, the tape, it gets gummy around the edge sometimes if you don't use the right tape or the right gum. Here's my little endorsement. Nobody paid me to do this. 3M Scotch Magic Tape. Best thing in the world for collectors of books and things if you want to tape it. I left the price on there. Gave $25.50 for it. Came dinked. It was supposed to be near mint condition, and they dinked it in shipping. That's just pitiful because I was thinking about getting this one CGC graded. This has a Jim Steranko cover, and we'll see all of it in the glorious. I let the piece of tape with the price on it, put another piece of magic tape on there with the price. But sometimes you get gummy, and build up too. It's good to change it out every now and then. Good to price stuff, put things on there. But yeah, beautiful Jim Steranko. These are wonderful books. This is book one of, the Captain America, the heroes, Tales of Suspense. And then there's a book B, which we looked at yesterday, which is in an old bag because it's got a sticker on there. And if I want to take that sticker off, how do I do it? Well, and I'm going to take off some sticker residue too off this Mylar of this flash drawing by Carmen Infantino that he just did on a backing board. But if I want to take that sticker off, and some, if they're going to adhere, they're going to adhere. I recommend a dull. This is a sharp, brand new one, but a duller, so it's not so sharp and ruffles your bag any. But just take it broadside there on the corner and try and catch the edge of it just barely. And if it's real sharp, it may snag your bag, and then you have to replace your bag, or you probably should. I don't know how well this is adhered. And then just work it to the edge once you get a corner, and wow, that was easy. Now I can see the whole cover, or at least half of it, because remember, on yesterday's episode, it's a wraparound cover by Ken Stacy. Does wonderful painted covers. So we can throw this away. That was just some kind of number for their use. No need for that to be on there. On a heavy laminated cover like that, I'm not as concerned with it imprinting. If you put pressure, you put it in a book, and especially, I would say if you're putting in comics, I have a couple like this that are straight up and down. They go in like this in the box. But, and I alternate. You should alternate your books. However you want to do that. You can do it backing board to backing board or cover to cover. I mean, it doesn't, same difference. But, you don't want to keep the gravity pushing down on these. You want to have them standing up in the bag. These are just things for collectors new collectors, us old collectors. Hopefully we know this. I know a lot of old collectors that don't. I mean, you have to learn this stuff, just think about gravity, and it would be better to have them there and then have it full, but not too tight. And, you can I don't really like thumbing through because you can damage your books, but there was a time if it wasn't near me, I didn't want it. But now I've learned to like garbage. Not garbage. Just, these older books you're just not going to get in near mint shape. Bam. Always loved how he just did the Human Torch there. Jim Steranko, of course, had not a big run, but a short run early on in his career on Captain America, but great red, white, and blue flag. Of course, the red skull. I'm looking right at it too. Red skull down there, and a Hitler cover. Zemo, Batroc the Leaper, and Baron. What's his name? Doesn't really matter. But I suppose it's the scientist that gave him the shot. I don't remember him ever having a mask, but I guess we're in 2022, so he has to wear a mask. See, even back in 1979, December 1979, Jim Steranko was ahead of curve, even back then. But these things, as I've said in previous, and this is a nice one because it has Captain America #1. This was the first I'd ever seen Captain America #1, 2, 3, 4. Nice Alex Stromberg covers. Of course, Jack Kirby and Sid Shores did Captain America 1. Jack Kirby and Sid Shores did Captain America #2. It was definitely a trend-setting, popular book when it came out. It also has Captain America 7, 8, 9, and 10. What more could you ask for? You might add, well, how about 11, 12, 17, 26? Gives you a synopsis of Captain America, and also had some of the latter, harder to find sort of Atlas books before it became Marvel. It was Timely, then Atlas, then Marvel. Captain America 66 from April 1958 with Sid Shores cover. Captain America Comics #70. And he was phased out of his, as popularity of heroes waned, he was phased out. Hey, Renee, you're a winner of one of these. So if you'll go to Devil Flyer Momentum, you were the first in the chat. I will send you one of these: Mutants, Monsters, and let me read it this way: Stan Lee's Mutants, Monsters, and Marvels. Gave one away yesterday, so you get one. So just DM me so I can send me an address. If you have any difficulty, let me know. But over there on Twitter, hopefully you have a Twitter account so I can send you this tape. Be here at 4 every day on the 4 o'clock Shadow Show. And we're talking about Index with the great Jim Steranko cover. Just that. I've got other things I'm going to show here. But picking up where I left off, Captain America 71. And by the way, if I didn't say it, I'm at Devil Flyer Momentum. No Twitter? Okay. Well, I'll need an address, a box, or something. If you can, we'll work something. But you're a winner. So if you'd like that, I'll get it to you somehow. Number 73, and then 74, 75, 76, 78. I mean, it just keeps going. This is a great. And then it has Young Allies #1, which had Bucky and Toro. They were the sidekicks of the Human Torch and Captain America, of course, and then some other sidekicks were with them too. Young Allies #2. So Notes on Yellow Claw. Quick, it starts with tells us suspense and works its way up. Of course, it's going to have those early Iron Man in there, and then it changed to Iron Man and Captain America, and then after '99, it went to Captain America number one. In this, they continued the numbering from Golden Age. What is TY? Michael has my address. Michael T. Is that who you're referring to? Yeah, just get somebody to message me on Twitter and get that to me, and I will get this out to you. Because we like giving away free stuff here. So thanks for coming in. This runs all the way up to the time of publishing, and I think I said 1979, the end of 79, December 79. These came out from GT Enterprises, and it the neat thing, it's got the old bicentennial battles, huge treasure edition, but the giant size annuals are in the back, king size annuals, all that. It ran all the way up to July 1979, number 235. So just a great resource book for any comic collector. Oh, Michael Young. Okay, I'm sorry, Renee. I didn't recognize your name. Okay, yeah. I'll just run it over to him then. Yeah. And if you don't like it, hey, thanks for supporting the channel. I'm sorry I didn't make there's so many names on YouTube, but that's a good resource. And I'm just going to be talking about different stuff. Scooby-Doo. Did you watch Scooby-Doo, Renee? I did. I love Captain Cutlass Ghost. I had to have it. Love underwater diving stuff, the old diving suits. Of course, they had other villains, other characters from the cartoon, but that has Shaggy and Captain Cutlass there. I believe he glows in the dark. I'm not sure. He did on the cartoon. This was series 2. I just picked this up at Walmart, but great little action figures. And then a good look at the others you can get, the Voodoo Doctor, and let that focus a little bit maybe with Wilma and Scooby and Velma and another Scooby. This is series 2, so. And then what I showed this is production art. See, this would have been pulled off the line. It is trimmed. This is Golden Age. I didn't look up the year. I mean, it has Buck Rogers in it. Buck Rogers was in Famous Funnies. This is Famous Funnies number 43. I don't have it dated. I really should have looked it up, but it's in the 40s. And this is a cover with the ads on the inside. This is the back cover, and this is the front cover. I liked it because it had an artist on the cover, but early 40s, mid 40s, somewhere in there. I had to look this up, but I was good to dust it off, I guess. But this is part of the production, making the book. They pull inspection covers. So 10 cents, big 10-cent mark. And actually, I don't own this. My friend owns this, and I just have this here. It's keeping it safe. He paid $300 for it, which I think was a steal because production art was just trashed, Oh, I failed to get something. This is Carmen Infantino Flash, just done on a backing board, and I have it in a Mylar with a backing board to protect it. But it does have some glue where a sticker was. I'm going to show you how to remove stickers off stuff like that. But it says to Robert Carmen Infantino, a quick drawing of the Flash, little remark type thing, what we call remark of the Flash there. Or I'll just tell you and demonstrate it later on another stream. But you get lighter fluid and put on there and get the gum all kind of let it sit a second, and it will evaporate, but you want to wipe it off before that happens, and it'll get this sticky gums off of like plastic. That's a little insider secret. Did you collect Pez, Renee? My favorite is the Fat Ear Bunny. And of course, this is the lighter one because it has feet. These came out at Easter. I don't know why. I just like the design I like the face. I like the big, thick ears. There it is from behind. Of course, put Pez candy in it. And Pez goes back to the 1920s, the latter part, like 1927. A German, um, company, and I'm going to do at least a Pez a day. This was hanging up on the wall, so I lost all my Pez too, pretty much. And if they have like rubber balls and other things like that, if they get up against the plastic, it'll have a chemical reaction and create melt spots. And I actually had some like that. But now these, a lot of these, I have some of these that are transparent, and I'll be showing some neat stuff of Pez. I have thousands of Pez. This was a neater one that came out about a year or so ago, Crayola crayon, and you can use that as a stabby instrument if you want to. The kids comes with the Pez candy. Not the best candy in the world. In fact, they say if you eat a bunch of it, it'll give you the squirts, give you diarrhea. So don't eat too much of it. Oh, and something they've been doing, I don't know if you've seen the Funko figures. That's a big one right there. And I have a smaller one. It may be behind my chair, but that's a big Funko figure. You might have heard of Funko figures. Oh, here it is. Right there. Same character. The Thing from the Fantastic Four right there. And a little one right there. A little bit different. But they started doing Funko Pez because this guy's a big collector. He's had like 3 different collections, went through like 3 different divorces, and lost all his collection every time or had to sell it. But he has a huge collection now. Hey, Mrs. Good Stuff. Darn it, you just missed the giveaway. Oh, well, maybe tomorrow at 4 o'clock, eh? Be the first to come in here. Maybe I'll give something away tomorrow, too. Cooking dinner, swinging by to say hi and smash the like button. That's right. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be on every 4 o'clock shadow every day. Probably about 30 minutes. We'll see. We're about 17 and a half minutes in now. But this is one I ordered, Boba Fett prototype. That's fairly new, about a year old or so. Maybe a little bit more than that. And I have it in a protective box. You can see the hanger up here, the things we collectors go to keep the dust off and to just display them nicely. And I thought this was a special one, white Boba Fett. And I have another one I'll show tomorrow. Maybe. You never know what I'll grab. Here's a neat Hot Wheels. I just doing a little bit of it all. This is a 65 Pontiac Gto. Super Friends. Did you watch the Super Friends in the 70s and maybe to mid 80s, early 70s to mid 80s? Little Superman car there, Pontiac Gto 65. No wonder I had it hanging up. That was the year I was born. This is number 2 of 6. Shows you some of the others that were in there. Classic cars. If you do collect them, I say get the classic cars that are real cars and not made up, unless you just like it, which I've been known to do. Now we grab 2 more pieces, and then I guess we'll call it a day on the 4 o'clock shadow show, which I started yesterday. This is the only second time. And I cut that short because Del Keown was on Andy Smith. This one I haven't even taken out of the bag, so I guess I can replace this dusty old tape. This is one of only 2 in the Jack Adler collection. Has a certificate of authenticity. And I don't know if he's mounted it on the back or how he's done it, but it tells about what cover approvals are. The Jack Adler collection limited edition art print. And it has the certificate of authenticity there. This is A Date with Debbie, a 20 center from the early 70s. It's a approval cover, trimmed approval cover, and you have untrimmed approval covers. And this is actually one that Jack Adler from the Jack Adler collection, he mounted. So he mounted this. This one and the other one I'm getting ready to show you. And they were the only two that I know of that were matted by him in the collection. So I bought it. What are cover approvals? Cover approvals are limited prints of comic book covers. Before a comic book was printed, the company executives would review and give their final recommendations. They would pull them off the line. When I worked at World Color Printing, they would just come by and grab a cover and, put it on a clipboard and see if everything's all right, see if something's misspelled, miscolored, if there was a bad print run where maybe there was an ink streak across the cover or anything. They inspect the covers. That's what these are. And this is how and I mean, this stuff was not necessarily kept on file. It was scrapped after jobs and stuff and thrown away. So that this exists, that helped produce this book is amazing. And this guy, maybe half of 1% he saved out of over 800 and something $1,000 since he did. Oh, there's a Russian bot. I always get one troll. Prior to the 1980s, and I would say 1982 was about time people started saving this stuff, seeing that it might have some collectability. Before then, they didn't even keep original artwork. They just scrapped it for the most part. So to see, a piece like this from the 40s is unheard of, that it still exists. And like I said, that was $300 years ago, probably over a decade ago when he and I bought that. He really bought it. I recommended he get that. It was in between that and a 1962 Jack Kirby cover. And I thought the older, and that's what I preferred anyway. Prior to the 1980s, the vast majority of cover approvals were thrown away or destroyed. The Jack Adler collection. Jack Adler, and I've talked about him in other streams, worked at DC Comics from 1951 to 1981. And like I'm saying, I'm like, because I was told that he was a colorist on Action Comics #1, the first Superman. So I don't know. I'm going to have to ask Robert about that, who was denoted on this flash. That it says to Robert because he met Infantino maybe several times, and he's the one that bought into this. And after Adler's estate, went to his estate and got stuff. Any Batman comic books in the 90s worth anything? Some can be. I did some. Featured some. I don't know if they were Batman, but they would have been at that time. Let's see if I have any here still. I think I do. Yeah. If you have any Batman books with this DC Universe barcode, see it says DC Universe there in the corner. If you have those are probably the rarest Batman books you can find. So check and see if it has that. And if they have just a normal barcode and they don't say direct edition on it, those are rarer too, about 10% of the run. So check those barcodes. That's really the difference. You want the ones with the barcodes or that DC Universe. And if you don't, it's not trash. If you'll get a list to Mike, I'll look them up for you and see if there's anything good in there, like a key issue. Like if it's a first appearance of someone, it can be worth something. That's kind of like a rookie card in baseball cards. An award-winning colorist, Mr. Adler eventually became vice president of production in DC Comics. His tenure, Mr. Adler amassed a rare collection of comic approvals with many Silver Age covers from the years 1967 through 1974. But he did have some even going up to the early 80s that I think were given to him and he kept, or he kind of came by the office and maybe got a few. But we go up to the early 80s on some of them. Either they're in my collection or I know my friend over in Tennessee has some. limited edition art prints. Despite Mr. Adler's efforts in saving this unusual find, many approval covers were lost since only 1 to 7 copies of each cover were found to exist. These cover approvals are truly limited to works of art, and I would say mostly 1 to 2. I mean, we're saved, but that's an old date with Debbie. And I don't know how he's got that on there, but I wonder if there's anything that's kind of unusual. And usually, I may have got this from another source, but I don't think so. This is probably an early Key Comics, and usually they're embossed or cheaper, look cheaper than this. At least this is parchment looking. And then the other one, I had that one in plastic. This one I haven't. I had it back there forever. Barry Windsor Smith, All-Star Western presents Powwow Smith #1. I don't know if this was an original cover for this book. It is #1, making it a rare #1 in the collection. There wasn't very many #1 issues. That was something early on I tried to find, was the #1 issues. And again, Jack Adler, Madden framed this one. As far as I know, that date with Debbie, one are the only ones that have been done like that by him personally. So I got them, even though the mats might be a little dinked or whatever. It's still a neat collectible. Put that in a frame. Look awesome. Old 15-cent, early 70s book. Of course, All-Star Western would be the first appearance of Jonah Hex. Maybe you've seen that movie. I think that's everything. I think I ran through everything, and it's been about 30 minutes, but I can talk for a little bit longer and make it at least 30 minutes, right? Yeah, I mean, Jack Adler had saved a bunch archivists at DC, and just a great colorist. Neil Adams, famous comic artist, said that he didn't want anybody to ink his work but Jack. I also want to push my book. My book sign up is on Devil Flyer #1. It's an anthology, and we have. I'm going to have to do a page count. That's so easy. It wouldn't take but a second. But about 36 pages, I think, a main story with Devil Flyer. Here's a double page spread because that's what I have handy. Here's the cover with our new logo. But that's what you want to look for if you go to Indiegogo and get on the mailing list. It'll only be up for a little bit, and then I'll be publishing the little ash can, and then March 1st, I'll be putting up the mail up list for the main book, for the whole book, and launching it March 1st. Maybe on Red Valkyrie. I don't know. We're kind of negotiating that right now. Here's a double page spread that I am having put into a print. Friend of mine, John Falandes, is the artist. 70 years old, never published anything. He wanted to get something published. All I know is I told him a while back, probably in 2018, if I just created this character, so he's a relatively new character. I think in September of that year, there's the first page of the book. A Devil's Weapon is the title. And he's already tied up and sinking. See the bottom of the boat. I think he knocked it out of the park. I'd love to get this colorized in the future, but for now, we're going to have a color cover with black and white interiors. And he made up for it, like just this moon, the artwork on there, just the detail. I mean, chains are hard to do. I mean, for him, maybe not, but chains are always have to look uniform and linked and everything. And they're a headache to do. But I must say he knocked it out of the park. And actually, he redid this. There were several. That was one reason. It took him over a year. He wanted to give his very best. So he penciled it, which inks took longer than the pencils. And then he lettered it. That, and I've had digital on this. I can see an edge. I had digitally somebody come in and take those shadow lines out below the dialogue. And under here's a good example right there. If let it focus, line under weapon, I'd have her go in there and digitally remove that out of there. So he's got all that done to the whole main story. So on to bigger and better. I'm advertising in some alternative books, and we're getting off to the races. Hopefully those books come out about the time the thing launches. Let's see real quick if I have the other cover here handy. Well, I've shown that. It might just be right here. Here's the Inner Man logo, which is another character in there. I will show that. Inner Man logo. That's on his chest. At first, and John came up with this. I didn't give him an emblem. I gave him more of a concept of what I wanted, but he gave him an emblem. But that's great. We can do Inner Man T-shirts, things like that. So here's the other penciled cover right there. This will be one of the covers probably. It's just in pencils right now. I have to give him the color scheme, and then he'll put the colors in and ink it. But pretty nice. Might be some modifications. I know he's got his I had him go back and do it like I designed with pointed gloves instead of rounded, so we may have to change that. I'm the editor, so I had to kind of be consistent. So that's it for now till I can stream again tomorrow at 4. Of course, I'll probably put up some new content in between. Trying to grow my channel. Can you launch on my birthday, the 14th, and then I can get your first book? Well, Renee, the thing of it is, I've announced March 1st, and really I'm on a time thing here trying to get it done. Is it the 14th of what month? It'd be too soon if it's this month or February. February is going to be short enough as it is, 28 days. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to get the first book, man, there's people in there trying to get to have bragging rights to get the first copy, believe me. So you got to be quick and know what you're doing. Oh, March. That'd be a little bit late. I'm sorry about that, but I'll make sure you get one. Come hell or high water. But or something special with your book that nobody else gets. I do have a couple of postcards that there was only 50 made of one and 125, 150 of the other. And I might just pack those in your book. How about that? Those are two rare items. The first things that I came out with. The company names even changed since then. So till next time, keep collecting. And thanks, Renee. Thank you, Mrs. Good Stuff, for at least coming by and saying hi. Till 4 o'clock tomorrow, or maybe even sooner. Keep collecting. Bye.